Hello there. Today I'm going to go over the story of how we started because I think there's some valuable business lessons in there for anyone. And, well, cut a long story short, I wanted to start another business. And I specifically wanted one that was very stable. And that led me to a subscription-based business. And I also wanted something that was very local. So after a lot of research, it was Wheelie Bin Clean. And this is, I think this is the fascinating point really, is I never thought I could start it on my own. I always have had this idea that go to someone else who's done it because they've done it and somehow persuade them to tell you everything that you need to know. So there were franchises available at the time, but they just didn't seem to offer what I wanted. And to me, it seemed as though they were making a simple concept complicated. So anyway, and this is not pre-internet, but there wasn't a lot of stuff available on the internet. So Yellow Pages, and I called every single wheelie bin cleaner I could find. And eventually, after much persuasion, I found a lady in Plymouth, a lovely Scottish lady. In fact, she was quite abrupt, but I think she was lovely to me. And she basically said, I'll tell you everything that you need to know, but I won't pay for it. So there was a bit of a prickly negotiation going on there. But we finally settled on doing stuff in stages because I didn't want to travel all the way down there to check out who she was. So I think that was the safest thing. And we came to that arrangement. That was okay. So, and God, she sent me everything, and I mean everything. She sent me paperwork, she sent me a CD with loads of different things on. It was just incredible what she sent me. So then I started putting everything in place, the equipment, marketing tools, all those different things. And I didn't tell a lot of people I was doing this because I just like to get in all my ducks in a row and then I'll commit to it. So anyway, I can remember a New Year's Eve party and and he's actually a good guy, but a drink and what have you. He was being a bit derogatory to my idea. I told people then, what a place to announce that you're going to start a new business. It's like just daft really, isn't it? But anyway, so he said, and he wasn't the only person, this is never going to work. And I remember being there. I hadn't had much to drink. I remember being there, and when he uttered the last syllable of that sentence, I knew this was going to work. And it did. So then, the first time I started cleaning bins was in mid-February, and it snowed for the first 2 or 3 days. I was so cold. But thanks to this lady and what she told me, I think it was September. It was end of midsummer. It was still really warm, and it was incredible because I'd paid her off, I'd paid all the equipment off, I'd paid the van off, I'd paid everything off by September. Yeah, and I think I'd even bought another piece of equipment then. Anyway, so great position. And not only at that point, I literally had to stop new customers because there was just too many. It was absolutely incredible. And the only downside with that was it then created another problem, really, which was I had too much to do. So I had a business I was already running and I had to run this. And I was surviving on like 4 hours sleep a night. And at that point, it was really a bit too difficult. So I had to make a proper grown up decision of what to do. So what I did was I just wrote down the pros and cons of each business over a few days as I was doing various things. And it soon became really obvious that one was quite a glamorous job, but was risky, really. And also, on the flip side with the wheelie bin cleaning, the money that was coming in on a constant basis was just mind-boggling to me at the time. It really was. And I never went more than 2 miles away from my base at the time. It was just incredible. So I concentrated on the wheelie bin cleaning, and thank God I did. Now, the important points of that, in my view, for you especially, is the desire to start your own business. If it was anything like me, was really strong. But the problem that I think too many people fall into, so this comes from the fact that in the time that we've done this, I've seen at least 13 other wheelie bin cleaners go bust. Some after 6 months, some after 5 years. And why is that? They think that a simple business is going to be easy to run. And yes, if you're cleaning the concept, cleaning a bin, getting paid for it, very simple. But as soon as you ramp that up into a decent wage, so let's look at a minimum of an average salary, which I think is about, I don't know, 37, 38 grand, maybe a bit more now. If you want to walk away with that profit, just let me turn this alarm off. If you want to walk away with that kind of profit and not work 80 hours a week, you have got to be very serious about the organisation that you do, how you organise everything, and the equipment that you've got has got to stack up, because you do not want halfway through it. Because one of the biggest problems with doing this is that you generally have to clean the bin on the day they're emptied. To explain why that is, I'd have to, it's a whole separate thing. And you can't catch up on that day, you have to do that day. So your equipment has to be good enough so that it does not let you down. And then it's the customers. I cannot emphasise enough how your customer is not a money machine for you. A customer is a human being who will pay you for something they don't want to do. But like any other human being, they need a connection with you. They want to feel they trust you. And that's a huge deal. And that's a massive byproduct of doing this job, because as internet grows in pace and online purchasing grows and continues to grow, it's more impersonal. And it's the personal things that matter. So really, to recap on this story, is 2 things. If you want to start something on your own and think you are going to get it right, straight out of the box, it's very unlikely. It's very unlikely. What will generally happen in this industry is you'll start off, you can get a lot of interest, you get some equipment. 6 months down the line, equipment's no good for the numbers you need to do. And repeat that process 4 or 5 times, and you've spent loads of money and trying to work out the better equipment. In the meantime, you've gone through keeping records on paper through to using someone else's software to organise everything. And if you just get someone who's been there to tell you everything, like I did right at the start, within months you're flying, and you've gone from runway to cruising altitude in one go. You haven't had to change planes, you haven't had to change ground crew, you haven't had to refuel, you've just bang straight up there. And that's one of the keys. And the other keys is, if you're not a people person and you're not an outdoor person, this isn't for you. You know, we do have a model where you could be in the office and have 3 or 4 operators. That's fine. Or 1, 2, 3 operators. That's absolutely fine. But if you want to do it on your own, you've got to be an outdoor person and you've got to be a people person.